Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite Dark Sorcerer here, Michael Hyson, son of Abaddon. I apologize for not making videos sooner. Um, had a little trouble with the YouTube channel, so thanks to DH Thorne, I'm up and running again. So just want to give a shout out to him, say thank you for his aid in this. His photo content that he shared with me really helped. Hey, Alfredo, how you doing? So I've been thinking about this, and a lot of people have been coming to me about witchcraft and defining witchcraft, about breaking it down so that they could understand what it is and how it's viewed and classified. So I thought I would put a few videos forth to share with you what witchcraft is in the different categorizations of sorcery itself. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing one video per topic, and I'm going to break this down into 4 segments. Okay, 4 segments. First one is going to be on witchcraft. The second one's going to be on necromancy. The third one's going to be on divination and the various different types of that. Okay. And the last one's going to be on possession. Okay. Now, the reason I chose possession last is because of the fact that it's one of those touchy situations where so many people have their own unique understanding of what it is. Okay. Hey Shelly, how you doing? And salute 367. How you guys doing? So I thought I what I would do is in each classification I would break them down, share with you the various different viewpoints of what black magic is, sorcery in general. But then I would take it into these 4 categorizations and really define them. Now, on my personal channel, I've already done something similar to this, and it was about last year that I did this. And some people that have been following me or just beginning to follow my work in this area have come to me and they've been asking a lot of good questions. Okay. What were the original type of sorcerer? How did they do divination and how did they see it? What was the ancient classification of sorcery in general? Okay. So I thought about this, and what I've come up with is this. This time around, what I'm going to do for this channel is I'm going to not only break these 4 categorizations down, but I'm going to bring it into full spectrum of what is entailed in this, from the tools to the rituals, the different viewpoints, and I will be reading from my personal grimoire, okay, on this topic because of the fact that I've got so much information just on these 4 categorizations that it's outstanding and it's mind blowing. Those of you who are in the Dark Sorcery Facebook group probably have seen 2 of my essays that I have put forth in the group that you can actually download and read for yourself because I have a lot of information just on those, just sources and the way spirituality was approached and viewed and seen. Now, I had one individual refer to me as a scholar, but also a practitioner because of the fact that it's rare to see somebody that is not only presenting a scholar type thesis on these topics, but to be a practitioner at the same time is something you don't see very often. Okay. In fact, it's once in a blue moon. Very few practitioners put out an intelligent array of understanding on topics. I had an individual that just started watching my channel just last night. Okay. And I'm going to read to you a little bit about what he said. And I wanted to do this because of the fact that it's something that I guess you can call it a testimony, if you will. Okay. And this guy is known as Nicholas Castro. Okay. And he said, "Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate your videos. I just found your channel last night when trying to find out more about the Mazagerian Cabal. While I have accumulated a good collection of magical materials throughout the years, none have called to me to action quite like the temple. As you put it, they are noticeably potent, that even someone like me who doesn't have much magical muscle can pick up signals from. Okay, not current. I'm not currently sure of how to get started in magic. One of the many pitfalls of such a field is that the detractors who are just looking to make a quick buck or uh, state their inflated ego, okay, or instate their inflated ego. But I am happy that I found your channel because you have so many videos that I can soak up valuable knowledge like a sponge. Just thank you for all that you do. Okay. Now, a while back, Alfredo and I were talking along, with the other admin, and we were talking about how Dark Sorcery is a well-rounded sculpted machine. Okay. Now, machine probably isn't the term I would go with it, but it's the one that's currently on my mind. Um, oh, that's good to know, Occult. Thanks for letting me know. I'll go back and edit it in a few minutes once I'm done this video. Um, we were talking about how we all approach sorcery in a certain mannerism. Okay. From intuition to practice, through experience, working with spiritual beings, or from my point of view, knowledge, because knowledge of a certain topic rings truer than physical applications. Now, how do you deal with a being such as, say, for example, a demon, an angel, a djinn, a loa, if you don't even know what they're about? Okay. Even with the Ugan in Palo Mayambi, or say, for example, Santeria, you know, there's so many different beings out there that if you don't do your homework on them, how do you know how to deal with them? How do you summon them? You know what I'm saying? So for me, knowledge is something that is more beneficial, not just applying what you know into actual rituals. So this is just one testimony of many that have come my way lately. And they've not only just stated certain things, like this individual here was a rookie, okay? He's just getting into magic. He's just getting into sorcery. And he clearly stated that fact when he stated that he didn't know how to begin it, okay? Which is what got me thinking about this earlier today. So I'm going to be breaking this down into many categorizations within each and individual one of these four topics. Not only am I going to be talking about witchcraft and what it is defined as, okay, the different topics that go along with it, but when I get into the next one, which is necromancy, divination, and possession, I'm going to be doing the same exact thing, okay, because I think it's important for you as the practitioners, the acolytes and the neophytes who are just beginning out, that really want to learn this stuff, okay, will benefit you. And I'll be speaking to this on my own personal experiences. but also my own research. Okay, so like I said, I will be reading from my black book. Okay, my personal black book on this, and all my research that I have gathered on these beings that I'm working with, and how to for you to begin your journey. Okay, not just for those of you who are more adept in this case, but also those of you who wish to further your careers with the understanding of what the, the classification of witchcraft is. And this is defining witchcraft. Okay. So the next video I do will be a video called Defining Witchcraft. Okay. 101. Okay. Because 101 is the beginning stage, the awakening process for you. And once that video is done, I will go in and do another one. Now, I will do this twice a week, like I've been doing, because that's what I've been asked to do. Okay. But here's the kicker: I can show you the door, but you have to be the one to decide whether to walk through it or not. Okay. I will not do the work for you. I can just guide you to the material. And I think you're going to have a blast through this series. I really do. Because it's going to blow your mind, the amount of information gathered. All right. And Danny Chen, how you doing? Now, I'm going to open up the floor real fast, and I'm going to ask all of you that are participating, do you have any questions so far about what I've stated? Okay. Or even about what the series is going to entail? No? Okay. Then I will be back in a couple of days. The death essence is negative energies. It is that, how should I say this? It is defined as da'ath. Okay, that's D-A apostrophe A-T-H. Okay. The first individual that I came across that actually applied this into his variation of gnosis was Ariok. Okay. He wrote the book Satanism, the 5 books of satanic philosophy. Okay. Very, very good book. And he did it based off of different things like Quimbanda, voodoo, Satanism. He even did it within the Kabbalah and, most importantly, Hermetics. Okay. Now, the Kabbalah deals with the tree of life, but also the tree of death. All right. Now, when you look at the Klapoth, okay, the tree of death or the condemned tree, okay, when another classification would be the 9 choirs of heaven and hell, okay, spoken of by Michelle Ballinger, or Belanger rather, in her book Dictionary of Demons, Names of the Damned, okay, where there are, from the throne of God to this reality, there are 9 orders of angels or 9 realms, okay, 9 thrones, and vice versa in mirror image, the same between us and the devil, okay, or Satan, depending on how you look at the polar opposite. Now, if we take the same depiction, okay, the same depiction here as mirror image, you have the tree of life, which brings prosperity, okay, life, the whole kit and caboodle, okay. Whereas that is positive energy. Much like, say, since Danny Chan just chimed in here with the church, let's go with their version of it, the tree of life, which is a spiritual gnosis of purity. Okay? But what would be the opposite of purity, but that of negativity? Corruption. Okay? Now, corruption would be the same categorization as occultism, black magician, sorcery. Those of you who wish to evolve as a personal spiritual being, okay, the death essence would be that of, say, for example, hexes, curses, black magic, things that would be personal gain. Okay, that's just to name a few things in this category. Working with demons instead of angels. Okay, now the church would view this in the same mannerism as, say, Eliphas Levi or Francis Barrett, perhaps even Dr. John Dee and Edward Kelly, okay, who worked with angelic beings, okay, the Hermetic and Gnostic viewpoints of the light, okay. Those of you who have read, say, for an example, was it High Witchcraft, I think it is, by Eliphas Levi. It's basically the doctrine and ritual and doctrine of high witchcraft, I think. I can't remember the exact name of the book offhand, but it deals with a ritual that he did within black magic, within necromancy. Okay, it scared him so bad he went back to his Kabbalah and Hermetic training, and that's where he finished out his life, doing the white light aspects. Black magic or death essences really do deal within blood sorcery, witchcraft, divination, and possession. Now, in necromancy, the death essence or da'ath is a baneful toxin. Okay, it is the negative energies that attach itself to the practitioner. In this case, they refer to it as a rot. Okay, a practitioner in the old days that ended up with this type of baneful magic due to their practices live in pain. They live their lives in decay. Okay. Now, according to the Mazajira Cabal system, the first step is to destroy your body, basically to become a lick or leech, a glitch, okay, which means corpse. Okay. When you look up these words, you'll see in Russian and German, which is the best manifestation of the terminology, not just the Greek definition compared to the Latin. Okay. When we look at the Greek, necro, okay, that means corpse, dead. Okay. Mancy, the practice of divination by corpse, the rejuvenation for divination purposes. In the Latin term is nigromancy, okay, the art of black magic. And black magic was associated in this manner because of the baneful attributes that it places on the waning practitioner. This is why, yes, I know there's no title on the video. Who was it? Right up here. Who was it here? It was occult and mysticism that notified me on that. So, well, to be fair, there is no safe way to contact spirits, at least that I've come across. There are only different methods to contacting them. Chiromancy is one of them. Okay. When you look at the seven forbidden arts, there are many divination tools that you can use to contact them. Okay, and I will get into these when I get into the divination aspects of this series. Okay, but 1,000 years ago, necromancy was actually, like I said, living. These practitioners lived in pain. They lived in a state of decay where their bodies were giving out. But it wasn't until 500 years ago when vampirism was introduced, blood sorcery, bloodletting, that it staved off that decay, that death essence. Okay, and you'll learn about that when I get into necromancy. Okay. Now, let's see. Danny Chen. I heard some Catholic and Orthodox Church saints are used in sorceries and witchcraft, witches' crafts. One being Saint Cyprian of Antioch. What's your opinion on the handed saint magic? Um, it's actually a pretty good question. I have to say that. The one thing I've known that I do know about the church is they don't preach what they follow. Okay. They never do. They pick and choose what they want to preach on and they don't take the overall. The difference between Orthodox and Catholic is the Catholics are more die-hard, or at least they used to be about 2,000 years ago. You know, the Pharisees and everything. They used to be very, very die-hard, you know, true believers. And then they became corrupted by power. The Roman Catholic Church became more of a bully than anything. This is seen through the Roman Empire, more so when you get into Slavic and Russian witchcraft. Okay, Bulk, okay, Anglo Saxon, Druidic, even, especially the ancient Gaelic and Icelandic traditions. You'll definitely see it there, where they slaughtered the opposition so that they can gain control over the minds of their followers, of the people. This is the Slavic and Russian tradition. If you go into, say, for example, Welsh or European traditions, you'll see a different aspect of it where they literally tried to make peace with them and tried to bring them into the fold. And when they didn't, they waged war. It ended up being a bloody 100-year battle until finally they finally just went in and they wiped out the Druids to break the people. You know, the Catholics tend to learn from their mistakes. That's a good thing I can say about the Catholics. Not that they don't, they basically also refer to you as a number, not an individual. So, as for the Orthodox, on the other hand, doesn't, well, let's just say they deny a lot of things. Okay, they tend to put more emphasis on the New Testament rather than the Old Testament. Okay, whereas the Hebrews tend to follow the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. The Orthodox or unorthodox church, I should say, really sticks to the more precise principles. They are diehard practitioners of that religion, but they're more indoctrinated. And what do I mean by indoctrinated? Indoctrination is from birth. They will you look at the apostolics, you look at the Pentecostals, okay, the Baptists. All of these different traditions have different practices. The Baptists are more, they'll just sit there. They won't, it's like there's no emotion, no feeling. They're drones, you know. They just sit there and do nothing. They just listen. They do what they're told. But the one thing I could say about the Baptists is this: they're in it for the knowledge. the knowledge, not the actual practice. I can tell you that Baptists really don't stick to what they preach. They will break the commandments and they will go right back in and do it again because they believe that going to church will automatically save them. Okay. Whereas the apostolics, on the other hand, they will jump up and down. They will run around the pews. You'll see grown men crying. I'm talking full on tears down their face. They'll have those, the little jaw doing kind of like what a cat would do when they looking out the window at a bird flying back and forth. That little quiver of the lower jaw. They'll try speaking in tongues, which is basically a recited thing that is passed down from minister to the disciple. And on top of that, they will literally make fools out of themselves. I'm talking running around the pews, hooting and hollering, jumping up and down in full view. But they will sit there, literally, if you give them 5 hours, they will pray in the sanctuary for 5 hours. I don't know about you. I say one sentence, I'm done. Plain and simple. Especially when it comes to prayer. But then you have the Pentecostals. The Pentecostals are an offshoot of the Apostolics. Some refer to them as offshoots of each other. But the Pentecostals are true believers, but they're willing to work with occultists. Just like Baptists. Some Baptist ministers will have a lot of knowledge about occultism because they've delved into it and studied it. Okay? That's the one thing I can say about Pentecostals and Apostolics. But the Pentecostals are more forgiving. They're more, how should I say this? They will pray, they will show up to every service, and they will sacrifice their time to do what is necessary. Okay. But for the most part, they keep to themselves. Okay. They don't do fundraisers. They don't do any of that stuff. They don't even do yard sales like Apostolics or Baptists. Okay. And if you get into the Orthodox aspects of, say, the Russian aspects, you'll see two classifications. One, which is that diehard Christian. The other, on the other hand, you're going to see incorporated with pagan belief structures. This is the Orthodox aspects, but also the more, how should I say this? Clandestine Christian dynasties, where it's all about money, it's about dominance, it's about power. Okay. And Dice Controller VK talks about the benefits of psychic vampirism with necromancy. Well, vampirism does go along with necromancy. I will tell you that. For an example, it depends. It comes down to two aspects. Are you trying to transmute the energy? Like, say, for example, bring it between people. For an example, healing. You can take your chi, your ka, and direct it to heal somebody. Or are you utilizing it in a psychic vampirism manner, like Anton Zanderleve stated, and do it for baneful or personalized gain? Okay. If we go by, say, for an example, Chanel Whispers, which is a book written by and put forth by Sundus Dreadwood, the former Ascended Grandmaster of the Cabal. Okay. Then vampirism is more of growing in power. It is more baneful. It's more personalized gain. Okay. But there are aspects of vampirism that go beyond that, such as feeding off the life force of others. Okay, sending spirits to do the same, such as a succubi or succubus, a vampiric or a zombie. Okay. Let's see. You also said it's actually true on that one, Danny. Constantinos. Constantinos is one of my favorite authors of nocturnal witchcraft. He is also the first individual that I've come across that actually put up a etymology, I guess you can say, of a diagram, the equal armed cross, in chapter one. And he really defined that quite well. And it's been very useful in my own personal craft, okay, my own personal practices and viewpoints. Summoning Spirits is a very, very good book that I would recommend to all of you beginners. And I will give you some, as I do these videos, I will introduce you to books that I would recommend personally. Okay. Let's see. I wouldn't, that would not work, Disc Controller. And here's why. Vampiric energies can only heal or destroy. It gives life or it can kill. If you're looking for safety, black magic is not for you. Okay. But even black magicians or dark sorcerers know that there are things that you can do. For an example, seals of protection. Okay. For an example, seals of cloaking yourself and your activity, seals of protection, seals of reversals, seals, seal of adjuration, okay, the seal of anguish, okay. This is all stuff done by the Mazajira Cabal, okay. But it's not just that. You go into any source of witchcraft, any form of occultism, worldwide, you're going to see amulets. You're going to see talisman. You're going to see Orcrux. You're going to see phylacteries. Okay, phylacteries are a great source of power. Okay, and you can charge them for certain topics. Amulets are great for protection because you can carry them around your neck. Okay, talismans, on the other hand, you can set around your altar room, your inner sanctum, your own home. Okay, you can bury them and charge them with protective, essences, energies. Okay, blood sorcery will also help in that. Now, some other aspects of this would be things like altar coins and crystals. Crystals are a great source of power, especially that of quartz crystals. You can place them in the four cardinal directions after charging them. You can utilize big crystals or small crystals. If you come from a family that is Christian, okay, one of the things that you can do is hide the talismans. The talismans are small, okay? They look just like, say, for an example, like this, okay? This is something that's very, very simple. You know, it's a talisman, it's an amulet. You can charge it up for as a talisman for a stationary position, like say next to a window. You can have one on either side of the window. You can hide it by the, say, for example, photos. Okay. You can even place it behind curtains, perhaps even paintings. Okay. You can, if you have an a circle, okay, a circle of empowerment that you do your rituals in, put a rug over it and only unveil it when you're doing rituals or you're not expecting somebody. Rings, okay, or crux. These things connect you. It's not only for the types of sorcery that you're into, but also the spirits that you work with. Okay, and you can charge these up quite easily and utilize them for either storing knowledge, protection, or even offensive magic. Okay? Personally, you can do it many different ways. You can use the elements. Personally, I like blood sorcery because it connects you to you, but it is also a thing of life and death. You can charge it with whatever path working or root working that you're doing. For an example, as a necromancer, and a demonologist, I would recommend sulfur, gopher dust, and you got it, graveyard dirt. Okay. But I would also recommend utilizing the elements of fire, earth, air, and water. Okay. And then finally, utilizing spirit, your own soul, to charge it. Envision while you're holding it in your hand what you're using it for. My own apprentice hates it because every time he works, I normally leave them completely on my altar when I'm not using them. So when I take them in, they're a lot stronger than before. And he's like, how the hell do you do this and keep them that charged? Well, this is how. You don't just work with them on your daily rituals, okay? But you leave them on your altar when you're not using them. You can constantly recharge them and reconsecrate them with your own blood through rituals, especially when you're using deitas, such as Asmodeus, Astaroth, Beelzebub, or even Lucifer. If you're more into, say, for an example, the Mazajira Cabal, work with Zazazel, the Witches of the Depths, the Sith, or Sadi, as they're referred to, depending on which origin you wish to follow, the Scottish or the Irish. Go into the Dralith, the Dark Elven, you know, get into the Draconic aspects. You can even work with the pagan gods, such as Circe, the goddess of mysticism. Work with Freyja. Work with Isis or Hecate. Okay, you can bring these beings into this as you're working with them, as you're consecrating them, as you're charging them and activating them. The same thing with seals, crystals, okay, sigils, orcrocs, talismans, you name it, it's there. Okay, and these are aspects that I will be getting into within this series. Okay, but this is just a small little taste of what you can do. Okay, so Dice Controller 187, that's what I would recommend to you, especially if you're interested in charging them. And Seeking Serpent, like I said, I will be getting into that within Witchcraft, but also Necromancy and Divination, because there are different perspectives on what these things can be used for. Okay. Well, in that last question, I do for cleansing, but how do you use the elements? I'm going to direct you to Alfredo Martinez. Okay. He did a video a while back right here on Dark Sorcery, and he actually showed exactly how you utilize a talisman or an amulet to charge it. Okay. Especially in this mannerism. It's very easy and precise. Okay. And I will also show you other methods as this series gets going. All right. And you welcome Seeking Serpent and Shelly 333. So until next time, I'm signing off. My next series will be the next video will be called Witchcraft 101. Okay. Remember that. Defining Witchcraft 101. Okay. That is going to be the next video that I do. And then the following week, I'll do the next two and wrap it up on the third. All right. Have a good night. I do want to thank all of you for being here. You had a lot of good questions and a lot of good knowledge here. A lot of people come from Christian backgrounds, but a lot of them really don't understand about letting go and the differences between them. So you'll get what I mean by that in the next video. So have a good night, and until next time, have this Dark Sorcerer is out.